let me start with this though. Caveat. Everybody's situation is different. What's right for one person may work great for them, may not work as well for someone else, and it might not be at all an option for someone else. I get that. I absolutely understand that. And I am by no means trying to say that this is all cut, clean, simple, black, white, whatever you want to say. There are so many variations and grays in life that nothing is just clear cut. But one thing that has happened that is just absolutely heart-wrenching is when I have a family member who contacts me trying to decide about the care for their elderly person, their family member, their loved one, and finding out that decisions that were made just because of a knee-jerk reaction are now costing them unintended negative impact, financially costing them negative impact. What does that mean? That means where you have a son or a daughter who maybe hasn't lived in the area and mom or dad have been taking care of themselves, and then something happens and now they're not able to. So they've got to go into an assisted living facility, or they've got to get some kind of care. Long-term financial decisions are being made without really a clear understanding of what happens. So if that person decided or was able to sign up for Medicaid as a benefit of making sure that they had medical attention, that they could get medicines and prescriptions and any of the other services that may come along as a benefit, what they may not have realized is that when they go in for that assisted living care and it's a long-term need, they are no longer able to have the asset of a home. What does this do to the mental capacity of someone? First, when you're taking them out of their home environment and now they're having to be dependent on someone else to care for them, to make sure that they're being fed, to make sure that they're being bathed, to make sure that they're taking their medication, to make sure that if they're able to get up and move around, that they're staying active. That in itself is mind altering. It changes the dynamics of a person from being self-sufficient to now being totally dependent on someone else. But in the meantime, what they thought they have paid for, accumulated, and even had over a period of time is now basically being wiped out in order to cover that expense that they have. I'm not saying that it needs to be free. I'm not saying that there isn't good benefits and the right options available for people, but I am saying someone who becomes incapacitated and has to go into assisted living, and in a matter of 6 months, their health deteriorates to the point maybe that person passes. Why was the value of the home taken as coverage to offset those expenses? Okay, so I hear you. You think that that's a reasonable expectation, that that would be the case. That's the way the system works. That's what happens. But if you start diving into this, and I mean you start doing the numbers, and if the value of that home, minimal as it was, let's call it $100,000, and they've been cared for 6, 7, 8 months, does that really equal $100,000? Now, I get it. We start talking about health care costs, and you know, you go into the hospital and you have one thing done, you're there for 3 days, and you got this outrageous bill. Look, we got topics for days that we could talk about. The fact of the matter is I've seen the heartbreak. I have actually seen what this system has done to individuals when they realize that the loss of the home and the potential value does not seem to meet the value of the gain for the care that was received. That's it. Plain and simple. That's what it boils down to. I know that my mother has very strong feelings that she will not go on Medicaid if she does not have to. That is her personal choice. I will absolutely 100% support that. And that does mean that I will 100% support her. If she gets into a need situation, she will not have any other alternative but to come and be with me. That is my obligation. That is my honor to be able to give back to her. Not everybody can do that. And so a system that sounds like it's set up for the right reasons, that it has all the best intentions, and in many cases provides exactly what is needed. Great. But if you have somebody who has an asset, such as a home, that's been paid off or almost paid off, that is not necessarily just a blank slate given that for that last little bit of care, whatever length of time, that actually equals out. And we should have a way as individuals to be able to have an accounting, an actual understanding of that financial impact before the decision is made, during the process, before it's finalized, whatever you want to say. Something needs to be happening. If we're going to talk about transparency in industries and making sure that people aren't being taken advantage of, why is this not something that's being talked about?